Okay, so hey, welcome to Tuesday Tips. It's Carey here. I'm super excited to be talking with you today because today's Tuesday Tips is all about community, the importance of it, how to create it, what it means for you as a coach, what it means for you in regard to your clients. And it's so important because it's a huge value of HCI, which is community. And I absolutely love everyone in our community. Thank you for being here and watching Tuesday Tips. Thank you for being part of HCI. It's a pleasure to have you. My mug today is actually just HCI, simple, Carey, because I just wanted to say, like, I heart HCI, and I heart my guests today, who I have the pleasure of meeting, not for the first time, I found out. But they're two really incredible women and entrepreneurs. They are the founders of something amazing that we're going to talk about called Soul Camp. And I'm just really excited to introduce Allie and Michelle. Michelle Garside and Allie, say your last name again?
Leipzig. It's a hard one. It is a hard one.
Well, you know, I'm guessing that throughout your life, people have called you any number of versions.
Usually just like Allie. They don't bother. You could call me Al. Oh my God, exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. So welcome to Tuesday Tips. I'm excited to have you here because you guys know a thing or two about community, yeah?
We know some things. And we're so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
It's a pleasure. And so, first of all, tell us, what is Soul Camp all about? And what had you created?
Great question. Okay, so Soul Camp, well, I'll just say it's an adult sleepaway camp for the soul. So we bring together 250 to 300 seekers, teachers, healers to an actual kids camp. And instead of soccer, basketball, tennis, we do angel readings, meditation, functional medicine classes, restorative yoga, whatever your mind can conjure, in combination with the typical camp activities like talent shows, water trampolines, tug of war, except we call it the peace pole.
Yes, we say that we live on the intersection of trampolines and transformation. So intermixed with all of these incredible workshops, yoga, meditation, cardio, all of this stuff, we also have trampolines, horseback riding, go-karts, all of these really super fun activities.
Oh my gosh, how many days is this? If someone comes to Soul Camp?
Our East Coast camp, which is happening August 24th through 26th, it's 3 full days. And then and that's happening in upstate New York near Lake George. And our West Coast camp is happening in California at the foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountain range. And that is 5 days. That's from a Tuesday through a Saturday, October 23rd through 27th. So no matter how long, and we've had in the past day camps in Chicago, we've had longer camps, we really have gone all over the place with the camps, but the common thread, no matter how long or short the camp is community. That really is why we started Soul Camp. That is what the number one thing that people take away from Soul Camp. And we started camp really because we wanted to it never started as a business. It never started as a business plan. It started as, let's bring all of our favorite people. Let's bring our clients and our friends and all these incredible instructors in our community. Let's bring them to our favorite place, to camp.
We went to the same camp growing up.
No way.
Yeah, and then we didn't know each other there.
Backstory.
And then met through the wellness community in New York City, and we were like, oh my God, we went to the same camp, and we're interested in the same amazing well-being and health, and we just became really close, and then decided to start Soul Camp.
We became best friends, and we were walking around New York City, and we were doing camp cheers. We were already in the camp spirit before Soul Camp ever even was an idea or a note on a piece of paper. We were always clapping and cheering and being camp. And then when the idea came through of bringing all of these people, we just went with it. And Soul Camp started back in 2014.
So 2014, so how many camps have you had since then?
We have had 10 camps. Yeah, 10 camps. So we started with one, and again, it was just this idea at our sleepaway camp back in 2014. And then we expanded to California, and then we expanded to Chicago and New Jersey. So our little idea has grown over the last few years, and now we have our little baby. And now our baby is a toddler, and we have 2 main camps, one in New York, one in California, that bring, between 250 to 350 people each time.
I have to say, like, when you describe, you say a sleepaway camp for the soul, right? And then you describe everything that happens there. People must see that. And if they're like, I can imagine so many, like myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like creaming my pants for this camp. This is amazing. I get to go to a place where I leave my entire world behind. And for 3 to 5 days, whatever, I get to be with other people who have the exact same woo-woo interests as me.
Yeah.
And I get to choose whatever the F I want to do for these couple of days. And it's just fun.
It's a smorgasbord. It's a smorgasbord of all things mind, body, spirit. And it's been described as the spiritual Disney World for adults without the line, because we have like 50 workshops going on a day that you just can pop around from. You could go and wake up and take a Kundalini class, then take a yoga class with Sean Korn, then jump in the trampolines in the lake, and then you can get a massage. And like everything is open to you. You acupuncture. It's amazing. It's like,
you know what I'm taking away from what you're saying that I feel like differentiates this from like going to Kripalu or whatever is that it's fun.
Totally.
Yeah. Like this is fun. When I think about going to Kripalu, I mean, it's a great place. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like dissing Kripalu, but when I think about it, it's like serious. I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to like, you know, I don't know, get very earnest, but this feels like, oh my God, this is like pop-up camp. I'm going to have fun. Like it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. And we've found, and I don't know if you've experienced this, but I'm sure you have. When you're playing, when you're having fun, I know you just said you got back from vacation. It's like, that's when transformation can really take place from this deep level of like, you're not trying to make it happen. You're just playing and allowing and creative. We have like so many campers that come and they're feeling stuck or they don't know what to do in their career. And then we say, leave it off the table. Don't think about it these 3 days. And they're just, you know, going about their experience. And then they leave with clarity and like an energy to take action on it. It's really awesome.
Yeah. How does that feel for you guys to see that in 250 to 350 people per camp?
It's kind of, I mean, for me, it's really surreal. Like I'm just like, you know, we always say like we are harnessing the energy of Soul Camp. Like we have the honor to be able to bring this forth. And like, it's just like, I sit back in awe of like, wow, how cool. Like, cause like our conscious minds I never would have been like, I'm going to create an adult camp.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was not like a dream when they ask you what you want to be when you're older.
Yeah. But it's amazing when we see like what our campers and what our instructors are doing. I mean, another big part that I personally love so much is like the instructors come, and before the instructors get there, they might look at the other instructors and be like, oh, she's my competition, or we talk to the same demographic, or, you know, we're teaching really kind of similar things. Like she has this many Instagram followers. She already has a book deal. Like I'm below her. All of this story, right? Like all of this, and they come to camp, and the instructors, they leave camp and they're all collaborating with each other. They're all leading retreats with one another. They're all doing events with one another. That's like what makes my heart burst. Yeah. Really just seeing like the whole concept of competition just completely fall to the ground, and collaboration come forward and community come forward, and just seeing that like there is no competition. We're all in this together. There's more than enough to go around, and like really seeing that play out after camp, especially for the instructors who are like, oh my God, I can't believe so-and-so is in my bunk. It's like, we're all the same. We're all, you know, peeing together. It's camp. So that watching those barriers break down is really astounding. And yeah, Allie and I like have spent afternoons just like looking at what our campers are up to, and like watching the videos and just seeing the transformations over the year. It's amazing.
No feeling like it, right?
No feeling like it. You know.
I love that you're saying that it's transformational, not just for the students, but for the instructors, which I think is so cool. And I also love, is it all women or is it guys too?
It's mostly women. It's mostly, we used to be like, it is men and women, but it's mostly women just by nature, I think, of the wellness, you know, mind, body, spirit world. But we definitely have the dude bunk. We definitely have couples bunks, like a lot of couples, some couples, not a lot. Some couples come together, but yeah, it's really the men who come, and there's probably, you know, maybe 20, 25 men. The men who come are so wonderful. And
Well,
so
listen, I would imagine if you're a guy who likes women, there's probably no better place to be.
that is true also.
Exactly.
That is true also. No better place.
But what I love about what you're sharing about any competition falling away and any kind of like story about who's got what followers and hierarchy and blah, blah, blah. And I think that's so important because that's what women, we are creating collaboration and not competition. With every camp you have, with every event we have, with every business partnership, where it's not like, oh, Allie's going to rise in the business, but that's going to take away from Michelle. Do you know what I mean? Or if Michelle is amazing in the business, so that's going to take away from Allie. And, you know, I love talking with you guys because Stacy and I, we're not family, we're not like romantic partners, we're like two friends. We weren't even friends. We barely knew each other when we started our business. So to have two women in business collaborating together, I think is really an incredible thing to see. And I think I'm curious to see if you feel like it impacts the collaborative feeling of Soul Camp, because the two of you are really the ones that are sparking that.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, I have admired that with you and Stacy from afar, and what we were laughing before, because I worked for HCI like years ago. So I love your community so much. But yeah, I feel like the collaboration, I do think that that's really impacted it, because in the thread of our creation of our company is collaboration, because we are creating from that space, right? And then even when we do our instructor training and the camper, like big welcome ceremony, we're showing that through our partnership. So I definitely think that just naturally occurs.
Yeah, and Allie and I love each other, you know, like she is my best friend, and I think that also impacts everything, you know, like the love that we have for each other, the love that we have for Soul Camp. I think that kind of gets into every nook and cranny. And, you know, our partnership is an amazing one because Allie and I have very different strengths, and we are able to kind of step back and let each other shine in the ways that our strengths shine. And that took a little learning. That took, you know, we're 5 years into this. But that's an amazing
it's constant learning. I mean, it feels like a marriage in a certain sense, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
totally.
Yeah, it's constant learning, constant negotiating as life changes. And I know you have a daughter. Michelle just had a baby boy 3 months ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So like navigating that, what does that look like in this new stage? And it's just, it's beautiful to be committed to the vision of our company and work through that in our relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting. I feel like changes in life or challenges in the relationship, there are such opportunities for looking at places in the business that are ready for an up level.
Mm.
Yes, that happened for us.
Totally.
Actually.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. Yeah.
What worked before just isn't going to work now.
Exactly.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah. And that really is true. It's like life happens, and then we get to see and we have the honor of owning this business. So we get to, the business gets to evolve as we get to evolve too. You know, we always say Soul Camp is a stand for transformation, and that transformation must include itself. So it's, you know, as life changes, as life keeps lifing, the business gets to life along with it. So
exactly. And the thing that I think is so cool about that, when you have the flexibility individually and collectively, and the trust individually and collectively to allow yourself to evolve with the business, then things really get to open up in ways you may not have ever imagined or seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, like you might not ever know, like what's around the corner for you guys may just totally like blow your mind and surprise and delight you, because you allow yourselves to be on the ride, and you allow yourselves to navigate and negotiate all of the bumps and changes and interpersonal stuff. And I feel like it is, it's not easy to do that, but so worthwhile. So worthwhile, because at the end of the day, everything that you're doing is impacting such a huge number of people in such a profound way. And in fact, one of the questions I wanted to ask is, how did you start when you had your first Soul Camp, or the first couple of them? How did you start offering this to people? Like, hey, come to a sleepaway camp, sleep in a cabin. Get an oracle card reading. Like, what is that process?
Yes, well, that's a really good question. So first and foremost, to give a little background, we are branders at heart. I'm a graphic designer, communication designer. Michelle is a brand strategist. So we have that skill to our benefit. We really used it to our benefit. So we created the brand that really it's like kind of stayed intact, just evolved a little bit. But the Soul Camp brand, it was through our enthusiasm to our first and foremost our friends and our community. Before doing Soul Camp, so I had a design company, Michelle had her brand strategy company. So our clients and colleagues, we asked them to share. We really like got people on board for our mission. We were like, this is what we're up to. We're so excited about it. We have no clue what's in store, but do you guys want to help us? And we had been in a place where in our community and through our friends had been really of service and giving to them through just because we didn't have our own platform, right? So we were in a space of helping, sharing our expertise to them. And I think it was really a good timing because they were able to help us out.
Yeah, and speaking of good timing, we were one of the first 4 adult sleepaway camps.
So there was like a trend that happened. It was like in Big Magic, you know how Elizabeth Gilbert talks about there's an idea that comes through at a certain time, and there's 4 of us, like main big ones.
The 4,
and we're all one of the only
horsemen or horsewomen.
Yeah. So we were one of the only wellness ones. So we were featured in the media really took us up. It was in Travel and Leisure, Condé Nast Traveler, Parents Magazine, Yoga Journal, all the things.
And Huffington Post was our media sponsor. And this is just a good, I think, lesson. We reached out to Huffington Post, literally like we reached out to Soul Pancake, which is, you know, another media company, literally being like, hi, we're doing this adult sleepaway camp. We think our values like align with yours. Huffington Post just came out with GPS for the soul. We're like, soul. Both of them, literally, that's literally how we framed it. Both of them were like, yes, we want to be your media sponsor. Rainn Wilson almost came to camp and spoke. It was like, we had nothing. We had no pictures. We had nothing. It was literally me and Allie at our campground alone being like, come to camp.
We actually watched this video.
Trampoline.
Funny. Because like it was before like we really knew how to use cell phone cameras even. We were like, look at the camp. And like instead of like turning it, we were like
ran around. We're like, this is where you'll stay. And then it was very, very fun. Now looking back.
Yeah, it's just like we did whatever we could, right? Yeah. So we like got to camp, we went to Dry Bar, got our hair done.
We got all dolled up
and like did this video just to show the grounds and had someone, I think like a friend just, you know, put some photos. We even took stock photos at that time. Yeah. So we didn't have photos like of people.
And we had no idea what it was going to even look like.
Yeah.
But this is like a really important, I think, just like note is that like Allie said, we had so much enthusiasm. We had so much excitement. We had so much excitement just that we got to do this, like that we got to go back to our camp, that we like saw our old camp director who knew us since we were 9. Like, it was just like so much excitement that I think that is really what kept the energy. And that's even like reaching out to these like Soul Pancake, Huffington Post. Huffington Post was sending solo emails about Soul Camp. It was like bananas. Yeah.
So for us, what we think that really was the energy behind it. We were fully embodied in the energy of Soul Camp. And then number 2 is what we talk to our branding clients about is, and would be so helpful for your health coaches, is the feeling. What feeling do you want to bring across in your brand? And for us, obviously, it's joy and fun. And every single written material, every single graphic that we put out, we made sure it felt like that so people could see it and feel it through the screen.
Yeah, well, obviously you did that well. So your first time out, how many people did you have?
150.
Yeah, and those were like, and like half of those, were, I mean, we got like our friends and family to come those first years and share. And then through those other methods, we got about like 75 to 100 people, which was great. Yeah. And then the next year it went up to like 250.
And it just kept growing. And that's when it expanded to California.
Wow. So was there a minute at the first one where you're like, this is going to work?
Yes. We actually, at the end, so we did a closing circle. And I think you might know Julie Santiago.
I do.
She leads our ceremonies.
She's our ritualist.
Yeah. So which was, she was there and we were like, Julie, do you want to lead a bonfire?
Oh yeah, she was a counselor.
Yeah, we just like
Literally.
had her there and we were like, do you want to do this? And then it became something, she got to really step into her leadership that way.
Yeah.
But the closing circle, Michelle and I, like, cause everyone went around this large circle and like on the indoor basketball court, it was like pouring rain.
It was pouring rain.
And everyone got to say, I forget what I don't know. Everyone talked.
Like
and
their I am statement.
Right. Like who they're going to be when they leave camp. And we just looked at each other and like ran in the back room. Like we were like, everything we've ever gone through has like brought us to this point. You know, one of those moments you're just like everything, all the hardship, all of the bullying at camp, like, cause you know, camp for us wasn't all good when we were kids. Which is what really led us to create such a space that's so inclusive and
everyone is part of.
Everyone's the same. So we were just like, all of it makes sense now.
It was such a deep healing.
But like really, yeah.
It really was. And there was another moment too. I remember it was in between periods, and everyone was like running with their notebooks and their soul camp tote bags to like go to the next class, and just like seeing this whole, because it's a whole universe that's created over extended period of time when no one has their cell phone, no one has their computer, everyone's literally like little kids with their counselors going from thing to thing, just seeing the universe that was created. And oh my God, there was another moment too. There was a lot of women that first year, and really every year, in their 50s that come, and just like seeing like all of these women who came alone, didn't know anyone before, and were leaving. One of them came up to us at the very last meal and came up to us hysterically crying. And she was like, I can't believe I had to wait till I was 62 or however old she was, 62 years old, to meet my best friend. Her bunkmate. Like, it was like, oh my gosh. And it was like moment after moment after moment of that every year. But that first year, it was just so, we had no idea. We thought everyone was just going to come and have like a great time. We had no idea the transformation and deep healing and best friendships that would come from it.
What do you think, like, what does that tell you as people who are observing the world, a world that's getting increasingly technologically powerful, but increasingly isolating? That the like massive response to this experience that you've created and this event that you've created, where people come and they feel belonging, they feel community, they feel safety, they feel acceptance, they're having fun. Like what do you, because to me that says like there is just such a serious longing for meaning and purpose and community, that we're just, for all of the benefits we've gained in the modern age, we've lost something so central to our human nature.
So central. I mean, yeah, I think it's really I've noticed it so much when we're sitting around the bonfire, because that's such a innate, yeah, it's really primal, and you're looking up at the stars, and it's just this ability to slow down and be with the moment and be with the people around you. And when I realized I only get to do that 2 times a year, when I'm at camp, I'm like, wow, like that we are missing that piece in our society. I mean, point blank.
Yeah. And we come from tribes, right? Like as a society, we're tribal beings. We traveled in tribes, and we grew in tribes, and we survived in tribes. And if you were not part of a tribe, like you died. Yeah. Exactly. You were out on your own and did not make it. And so that, I think that sense of belonging to a tribe, belonging to community is so ingrained in our beings. You know, like Allie mentioned, I just had a baby, and like, it was like immediately needed to seek out other moms going through it at the same exact time, because it was like, well, I can't do this by myself. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. We're not meant to. What am I doing? I don't know.
I'm still asking that question. Almost 3 years later.
No, but like it was immediately, it was like, okay, where are my people? And like, I think that sense is so in all of us. And then we have these like big Facebook groups and a lot of Facebook friends and like Instagram followers. So we kind of like get this weird warped sense that we have people around us. But but it's not true. It's not that same feeling.
And I also even say this, I notice, if I grab a coffee with a friend, it's so great, but it's like an hour and then you're rushing to the next thing. There's something different about just like having that space and time to really connect and not feel like, okay, I have to look at my watch. When is this hour going to be done? Right. And it's just the way that our schedules are right now.
Yeah.
But to give yourself that time to have.
It's the continual time to put the world down, to be out of the grind and to just be in a space and to like, have fun, feel joy, be with people, that having your mind like popping open every 2 seconds to new fun ideas and experiences. It just sounds amazing. Yeah. And, you know, quickly before we complete, I just want to speak to two things. One, how important do you think it is for coaches to be able to create community in some way? Because not everybody is going to be able to or want to create something like Soul Camp, you know, but there are people that are going to want to work with groups and create communities, whether it's, you know, online or in person. And I know there are a lot of people that want to work in person for the very reasons that you just mentioned. So what tips might you have for coaches who want to create experiences, whether it's a 1-day workshop or an hour talk or a 3-day event?
The tips that come to mind for me are to think about how you would want to feel if it's in person. Think about how you would want to feel and be welcomed into think about every single detail and moment. So what happens before the retreat or gathering that you have, like what's your interaction like with the coach from that point, and then all the way to the end. And for those of you that are wanting to do it online, I think just like, and I'm sure you teach this, Carey, but just your own vulnerability as a leader really helps people break down their walls and feel safe in the environment. And then from there, they're more willing to connect. But yeah, I think it's such a powerful tool for a coach because not only are they learning through you, they get to see that they're not alone. And then people can help each other and give each other tips versus only leaning on you as the coach. It actually creates more independence in that way.
Yeah, I was going to just echo and piggyback on top of that just really to share what happens in a group dynamic. So there is the shared stories. There is the, me too moments, right? Like one of my favorite quotes, and I know Allie too, is C.S. Lewis said, friendship happens the moment you turn to another and say, you too? I thought I was the only one. So being in this group dynamic where you're hearing your story, like Ali just said, over and over and over again, and you leave with a new community to hold you to the vision of yourself. Like you leave with people that see your greatness, that see who you are, that can call you out, that can literally call you to be like, hey, you said that you were going to do X, Y, Z in group. Like, did you do that? We can't do this alone. So for the coaches to really talk to that on their websites or on their sales pages or however they're getting the word out, really just talk to the importance and the healing that happens in the group dynamic.
Yeah, I love that. I found in my experience that I lost a lot of love. I like private coaching, but when I experienced group coaching, it was kind of like, because that energy of the group that you mentioned was so powerful, and a rising tide lifts all boats, and everyone just kind of like, there's something exponential about the energy where it all just swishes together and everyone rises. And it's such a beautiful feeling and experience, both as the facilitator and the participant, that being one-on-one is great. But I really fell in love with the community and group dynamic, which of course is why we're here at HCI. And I just want to, as we're coming to time here, say what a delight it's been to get to know you and to hear your story. I wish we had a lot more time to talk. I have a cajillion more questions for you. But it's been such a blast, and I'm sure that our viewers have been loving this conversation. And where can they learn more about Soul Camp?
Yeah, so I think you guys might have a link, but our website is www.soul.camp, not .com, we're .camp.
.camp.
And I think you guys have $100 off link with like the promotion HCI. I'm sure someone from your team will post it, but if you guys are interested, you can grab that discount. I think we have a few HCI people coming already.
Yeah, and that's
so exciting.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can find us on Instagram at @soul_camp, and on Facebook, just search for Soul Camp. We're all about inspiration and community and sharing our day-to-day. So,
well, I mean, really, truly, you guys are such a I don't know why this is choking me up in the moment. I have no idea, but what you occur to me as such a beautiful blast of, like a fresh blast of light and joy for both of you. I'm so impressed by how beautifully you speak, how clearly you know your business, how incredible your language is to describe what it is you do, how much time and energy and effort it is you put into creating this. Everything that you've thought of, every detail. It's really impressive. I'm really just give you a lot of props and appreciation and acknowledgement for who you are and what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And right back at you, Carey. Your community is incredible, and what you've created is so beautiful. This is just such symbiotic, beautiful connection.
Yes. Well, you know, we're in our different ways. We're all seeking the same thing.
Exactly.
And heading toward the same direction for each other, for our communities, for the planet. And it's a pleasure to connect with fellow light bringers.
Yes. Agreed.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So we'll see you on the next Tuesday Tips, everybody. Thanks again for watching. I love you, and I'll see you the next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Ellie and Michelle.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.